Hey yo, it's a Sunday video update. That's my horrible Scott Hall impression. I'm not being paid to do that. How you guys doing? My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jerry Bear. Today's date is Sunday, May 21st, 2023. Joining me off camera is my dad, my illustrious dad, and we've got Amy off camera over on this couch. I'm wearing my I'm wearing my NWO shirt this week because last night, if you have been seeing the pictures that I posted in my community tab on this channel, I have been helping, or I was helping, our friend JR Draper, ring name of Sabbath. I was helping him set up his show for last night's show. I spent a few days this past week helping him get everything set up, and it was a lot of fucking work, but it was worth it because yeah, so a lot of work involved. It was great. Just going and getting a behind the scenes feel of how everything's set up. I helped put the ring together. I put up the guardrails. I put up the some of the lighting, not all of it, but some of it. Um, I had a look around the building because it was at the Masonic Lodge in Owasso. I have been busy doing that, helping him, and of course, unfortunately, we almost lost our home to a fire last week. Not caused by Dad, Amy, or myself, because we take care of things the way they should be taken care of. It started in our camper, and while we're waiting for a report to come back from the fire marshal or the fire department or whoever's in charge of that stuff, um, I have a pretty good idea of how it started, but I can't put my finger. I can't place blame until I actually know, and it wouldn't be fair to just point fingers without actually knowing how it started or who started it or whatever the case may be. But I have a pretty good idea. Um, I'm gonna say this much: my life flashed before my eyes because I was sitting here at the computer and I heard screaming outside, and it's like, okay, who's screaming? And my brother wasn't here at the time, and I said, "Is she screaming?" His girlfriend. I said, "Is she screaming outside?" And he got up and ran because he saw the flames. And when I stepped out on the porch, our camper was fully engulfed. I dialed 911 as quickly as I could. And I don't know why I did this, but my initial reaction was to grab my Jared Bear and make a beeline for it. And the fire department was on the way. I called Dad because she had an appointment on Owasso. And I called Dad. I said, "You got to fucking get home quick. The camper is on fire, fully engulfed." And what? Yeah, you need to hurry up and get the fuck home as quickly as possible. He did 70 going through Oakley, with his four ways on. And, uh, well, I mean, you could see the smoke from miles away, I'm sure, but, um, it was scary. I thought I was gonna lose everything I've ever owned. I've lived in this house for 26 years this June, and I thought I was dead because our propane tank is right outside my bedroom window. If the flames would have gotten to the tank itself, this house wouldn't be here and I wouldn't be here. And this whole neighborhood would have been leveled. Um, it was scary. I'm glad everyone got out safely. There were no injuries, no fatalities, none of that stuff. But we lost a camper. Dad lost a shed and he lost a truck and a bunch of, so, well, like an air compressor and some other valuables. And well, some of it can be replaced, not all of it, some of it. Some of it belonged to my grandfather, and it was a rough week. And there were a lot, I mean, news travels fast. Yeah. We're dealing with insurance and all that stuff. But it could have been a lot worse. I'm glad it wasn't. But yes, Tuesday we have to go to Williamston to talk with our insurance guy and figure out where we're gonna go from here. Um, hopefully, we get the ball rolling and yeah, because the neighbor's house has some siding melted off. Their wooden privacy fence is burnt right in the middle. And so, I mean, the fence is still standing, but there's a middle section missing because it was burnt out. Um, yeah. So it's been a really difficult week. I've never lived through a fire ever. Not like that. Not of epic proportions like that, but it was a close call. And I don't know, I still go outside. I step outside the front door. I can still smell the smoke from the burn. Everything is charred. Um and I yeah, I know. Um it's it's just one of those things where my life flashed before my eyes. I'm thinking, this is it. It's the third time I've stared death in the fucking face. The third time. So I had cancer when I was 2 years old. I survived the COVID and I survived what could have potentially been a disaster, an incendiary disaster, mind you. Um, I'm just glad that was my phone. I'm just glad that everyone got out safely. There wasn't a lot of damage. The house is still standing. We're still standing, but um, but we now we got some work to do. And like I said, I can't. I have an idea of how it started, and but I can't point fingers and I can't say for sure because I don't know. The report hasn't come back yet, and it wouldn't be fair to wrongly accuse or to wrongly think that it happened in some way because I don't know. It's still under investigation. Um, but it really scared me because everything that I got, like I said, I've got 26 years in this house, and it could have been gone in a flash. And I'm glad it wasn't. So anyway, Dad, I got to sneeze. Oh,
Bless you. Bless you again.
it's the light. It's the light up there. But anyway, so between that and helping my buddy Sabbath with last night's show, which by the way, the show was great last night. It helped to take my mind off of a lot of things. And well, I don't really want to talk about that. It's not really important because it's a local thing and people out here aren't going to know. Um but it was a great show last night. I was actually, and I got into it this time around because of the fact that I had my hands into into the behind the scenes, like the production and all that stuff. So it was different. Yeah, and the kids loved it. Kids really take this stuff seriously, and some kids were flipping them off, and it was hilarious. Yeah, yeah, it was one of my friends texted me, but it was a great show. I'm proud of the work that I contributed to and helped to put together, and I couldn't thank JR enough last night for letting me help him and partake. Because it was an experience that I'd never had before. Now I have that experience. I put together a ring, set up some lighting, put up the guardrails, put up the chairs, um, did it all. And it is a lot of work. It's a lot of work. The poles where the turnbuckles go, those poles are heavy, very heavy. And we were on the third floor of the Masonic Lodge in Owasso, for those of you who know about the Masonic Lodge in Owasso. And it was weird because there was like 4 or 5 other guys with me. So we had to start like on the bottom, had to shimmy up the big steel beams for the ring, and the big long boards are like 12-foot boards, and we had to shimmy those up, which it was a little easier with the boards, but they were still heavy. I mean, 12-foot boards. And we had to elevate them so that way Sabbath could pull the boards into the room, and we had to we were like an army, you know, one person on the end and then like two or three people in the middle and then one on the back. Yeah, chain gang. There you go. Um, I'm not picking my nose. I'm just, oh, I just sneezed. But it was a lot of work. It was a lot of fun, and the reward was seeing how much fun everybody had, especially the kids, because they were really getting, they were really getting into it. And I had a couple of my buddies with me last night, and it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun, and they enjoyed it. And when I told them, I said, "Yeah, I actually helped put all this up," and they were, "Really? That's cool," And yeah, it was cool. It's not terrible Teddy. It's not terrible Teddy. It's Teddy the Terror. Terrible Teddy. Yeah. Yeah, and I went and picked up Teddy, and I had another buddy of mine. His name is Reese. We hung out together last night, and it was fun. Just us guys getting together, hanging out, having a great time. And my cousin Keith was also, and I didn't even realize it because he had been there for days. And it's like, how did I look at him and not know that he was my fucking cousin? Uh, I didn't know. I mean, he was gone for a while. His dad, our uncle, passed away, so we don't see much of the family anymore. And he was in the service. He was in the army. And when I saw him, and you notice how different he looked. I mean, he's got like how I have it, like the beard and the mustache. He's got short hair. He's got a bald spot. He put on some weight. Uh, so yeah, it was great to see him again. And yeah, we got any toilet paper or Kleenex or anything? My nose is running. I just got to wipe my nose. Ugh.
There, take those over there.
Ugh.
I got more.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed it, and like I said, the kids were getting into it, and yeah, it was really cool. It was a lot of fun. Um, but it's a whole nother, it's a different angle. Like when you're a part of the production, it's like, okay, I had my hands in this to help put all this together, and then when you have a big crowd of people and they come in and see the work that you've done, it's like, wow, it's like unbelievable. Ah, sorry guys. Oh, I sneezed. If you're just now joining me, I sneezed a little bit on camera. So not on the camera, but on camera. But uh, it has been a long week. On Mother's Day, I hung out with my mom. I did exactly what I said I was going to do. After last week's Sunday video, I went to hang out with my mom. We spent some time together. We watched a movie called The Lonely Bones or The Lovely Bones. Lovely Bones. And that is a sad movie, man. Even for an atheist like me, it's a sad fucking movie. Because there's a little girl. I don't want to give it away though. I don't want to give any spoilers away, but I'll just say that a young girl was murdered and 14-year-old girl was murdered, and it was a transition between earth and heaven, and there was that going on, and the family's grieving. It's got Mark Wahlberg in it. It's got Susan Sarandon, Stanley Tucci, and some I don't even know how to pronounce the girl's name because it's Irish. I don't really know how to pronounce it, but it is a very good movie. And I cried. I don't get emotionally invested in the movies, but this one took the cake for sure. It was sad. What's that? Old Yeller. Hey, everybody cried at Old Yeller. Yeah, everybody cried. I cried at Old Yeller. The first time I saw it, I bawled. No, that wasn't Old Yeller. That was where the Red Fern grows. Um, I mean, if you didn't cry at Old Yeller, come on, come on. That was sad. Everybody cried when Old Yeller died. I bawled. I would still cry. I still cry if I seen it today. But yeah. So there. That's what I did. I spent time with my mom on Mother's Day, and it was great. A lot of you who may be watching from Facebook, you're still kind of upset or you're sad because I left Facebook. I left Facebook because I'm tired of the bullshit, and honestly, life has been better other than the bullshit going on with the fire and, all that stuff. Um, Life is actually the quality of my life had improved because I'm not constantly and it's not anything against the people that I was friends with. It's not, nothing against the people who I still keep in contact with, but it's better for me in the sense that I'm not constantly seeing every because people pretend like a motherfucker on Facebook, especially Facebook. People pretend all the time. They wanna put on a show. I got tired of buying into this shit. Everybody is offering up lip service to one another. Think ev There's a lot of crazy motherfuckers on there, and it was just a great big shit show. And it's not about anyone in particular, but social media to me, especially Facebook, it's like if you shoot at a target, okay? You wanna take credit for all the times you hit the bullseye, but you never talk about how many times you missed before you hit the bullseye. And on Facebook, it is easy to show each and every single time you hit the bullseye. And then that gives people a false perception of, well, this motherfucker's a good shot. He can get it every time. No, they don't. They don't get it every time. They only show you the times that they hit the bullseye, that they hit their target. They don't show you or tell you all the other times that they had missed before they got it. And that to me is the biggest lie ever told. And other than the drama and the gossip surrounding me, um, that's the one thing I hated about social media. Everybody pretends. Everybody pretends as though their lives are so great and pristine and ethereal and flawless. That's the kind of shit that would kinda get on my nerves. It would get under my skin a lot of the time because I know a lot of those people personally, and there is no fucking way that their lives are as perfect or as great as they want you to think it is. My life is far from perfect. These 2 will tell you that. My life is far from perfect. I'll tell you that. My life is farthest from being perfect, but when I was and I think the reason why so many people were sad to see me leave Facebook again because they read my posts and they felt something. Because I told people all the time, I put it in my Facebook posts, I'm not here to bullshit anybody. This is how my life is. My life is not perfect. I don't live high on the horse. I don't have lots of money. I'm not gonna pass myself off as someone I'm not just to get you to like me. That shit ain't gonna happen. This is who and what I am, and if you don't like it, leave it. And, many people have. I can't say some, many people have, but that's not my loss, it's theirs. That's why I say that when it comes to the trolls and when they wanna put bad ideas into people's minds about me, that's not my loss, and it's not a victory for the troll. It's their loss because they it's their loss in the sense that not only did they not give me a chance, but they wanna believe the words of a troll, of someone who refused too cowardly to reveal who they really are. So for me, I don't see that as a loss. I see it as a gain because now I know who not to fuck with. I know that there are more people, fake people in the world. They can talk the talk, but they can't walk the walk. And when put to the test by a troll, that's demonstrated that they it's easier for them to block me and ban me and to walk away than it is to confront the problem or to confront the troll. So for me, it's not a loss. It's actually a gain because now I know who not to speak to. I have a very small circle of friends that I keep in contact with, very minimal, and, I just don't fuck around with that anymore. I'm actually happier off Facebook than I was when I was on Facebook. Um, but I know many of you miss my posts, and I miss typing out the posts. I miss sharing information with you guys. I miss you know, being my authentic self. And I'm always going to be my authentic self, whether I'm on or off Facebook. But on Facebook, I could type out all my thoughts and feelings, and I could tell you guys how my day is going. And I know that's what you miss, because my posts are very real and true to life, because I'm not going to bullshit anybody. And Dad knows that. But I do miss everybody. I miss my friends, but there's ways of contacting me, and it's just getting people orientated. You're not going backwards in life. You have that extra way of contacting me. If I'm really this important to you and you want to hear from me, then you will take the steps necessary. Otherwise, I guess it's have a nice life. But it's been quieter, and it's been less stressful not having Facebook. But anyway, so Dad, is there anything you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, there was one thing. When you said high on a horse,
Yeah,
it's high on a hog.
high on a hog.
Yeah.
Oh,
When you're
well, I'm thinking high horse. I don't sit on a high horse.
called, and
High on a hog. Okay.
I don't live like I'm high on the hog. Like
Okay.
eat famous foods or
Yeah.
delicacy foods or whatever. It's regular.
Oh, high on the hog. Okay, I misspoke. High on the I'm not high on the hog. And I don't sit on a high horse.
You don't even have a. We got a bumper horse out there, a little horsey that you can bounce on.
Yeah. According to my ex-girlfriend,
Yeah.
I got the horse and she got the saddle.
Okay.
And Damien, we want to say congratulations to you.
I doubt if they ever watched these live streams, but my cousin Damien, he's back at racing out at the Owasso Speedway. And they are expanding. I've been hearing on the news, between hearing on the news and actually going out there to observe and to see what it looks like. They're actually making some major improvements at the Owasso Speedway. Motorcycles. Now see, for my local friends who may be watching this, and you're familiar with the area. If you go down Carlin Road, just before you get to M21, there used to be a row of trees right there. Now, all those trees are gone, but now they have cement. They've got pavement, and you could see lines, and those weren't there before. So they really expanded. I keep hearing that NASCAR is going to be there. I don't know how accurate that is. I don't know how true it is, but I keep hearing that NASCAR is going to be there. And if NASCAR is going to be there, well, that means that Owasso Speedway might be getting some national attention, because NASCAR is national. MIS, Michigan International Speedway, that's NASCAR. And they are fucking big. They are huge. I've been by MIS.
Outlaws out there.
I've been by MIS, and MIS is big. It's really huge. It's in Lenawee County, Michigan. It's south of Jackson.
Last night.
It's actually closer to Brooklyn than Jackson, but the grounds itself, where MIS is, the grounds itself is in Lenawee County in southern Michigan. And I know this because I've been by there. It's big. It's big. So if Owasso Speedway plans to get big like that, holy shit. Right?
They're going to have to expand it, because I don't believe that track is going to be big enough, because that's only a half-mile or quarter-mile track.
Yeah. And if
It's not going to be big enough for NASCAR.
No.
NASCAR's are fast.
And NASCAR, you need a big fucking track for NASCAR. A big track.
They have the ones you see on television.
It's got to be way wider. Yeah. It's got to be way wider than what it is.
Well, they're doing a good job over there.
But yeah,
They're expanding it, making it better
It's-
for people. It's going to have a restaurant up on top
yeah.
or bottom.
They're going to have like a canopy or whatever to keep the sun out, I think.
Yeah.
Like a visor where people
Yeah,
sit in a
right.
visor.
It's only $14 a person, no matter what.
Children get in for free from what age range?
20 down. From 20 on down is free. 21 on up, it costs you. But It only costs you $14 to get into any event. It's not going to charge you more for a special race,
Right.
a person to get into the track.
And one good thing is, like, say the race has been canceled,
Yeah.
you don't have to save that bracelet just for that next
You can
race.
go to
You
anyone
can
want.
go to anyone in the season with that band.
Yeah,
Cool.
which is good.
Yeah.
They're doing a good job.
Yeah. It sounds like they're doing a good job.
Yeah.
I'm not really a racing fan, but I've been by there. I go to Lansing, I'll drive by there and check it out and all that stuff. But yeah, they're really coming along on it out there. My cousin Sammy had a birthday yesterday. Love you, buddy. Happy birthday. And my cousin Marcy celebrated a birthday yesterday. Happy birthday, Marcy. My cousin Rosie had a birthday on May 16th, the day of the fire. So happy birthday to her, belated birthday. There were a lot of birthdays this past week. Yeah, but there's just been a lot going on. I helped set up the show for last night, and it was a lot of work. It was a lot of work, but it was fun. And I told Sabbath, I said, "Well, I'm gonna wear my wrestling shirt on Saturday." So yes, for those of you wondering, yes, I'm still wearing the shirt that I wore from yesterday. I will be changing it. So, oh, Jared, you're a pig. You don't change your clothes. Blah blah blah. I will be changing out of my NWO shirt. Okay, so just chill the fuck out. I will be changing out of the shirt. I wanted to wear the shirt for last night's event, plus wear the shirt for today's Sunday video update to kind of mark the day after the show that I was involved in helping to set up. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. I learned a lot of different things, but it was all just volunteer work. I'm not an employee of SCW because that's the name of the company, Superstar Championship Wrestling. I'm not an employee. I'm just a good friend of the guy who owns the company. And I told him I would help him set it up. Yeah, actually wanted to learn how they had the lighting set up, but I looked at it a little bit. It's DMX lighting, but it's not, I mean, they just plug it in and let it go. And it's like, oh, it's an itch that needs scratched so badly, but it's not my company and it's not my place to tell him, hey, you should do it this way. Because I have DMX lights and I've got the controller plus the DMX cable. So if I want to create light shows with my lighting setup, I can. And with his show, it's the lights are just all, they're doing 50 different things at once. And it's like, I don't know if you wanted some transparency with your lighting display, but if you do, let me know. If not, then whatever. I guess he doesn't, which is fine. I mean, it's his show. It's his business. He can do whatever he wants, but I'm always happy to help in any way I can. And he turned it down. He turned down the offer. I don't view that negatively. If he don't want my suggestion, he doesn't have to take it. But it would kind of, in my opinion anyway, it would probably, when you add transparency to the lighting, it helps a lot. Yeah. Because I told him what he needed. I mean, yeah. Because we were going to use foggers. That's what we had initially wanted. We were going to use foggers, but we kept blowing fuses, too much electricity. And so I guess, well, because they didn't use the foggers last night. I thought for sure they were gonna, and they didn't. Yeah. So I'm being nice, JR. I'm being nice, Sabbath. I'm not trying to dog you or anything, but like I said, I'm always happy to suggest things, but if, ultimately they have to make that decision. Do I want to take them up on his offer or just kind of stick with my own thing? Well, you can do your own thing. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. But as a friend, I'm always happy to, if you need suggestions or if you need help or maybe some pointers on how to do things differently next time, that's not a problem. I'm always happy to help. So plan this week. I don't know what's happening this week. Probably the insurance, because I know we have to go to Williamston on
I
Tuesday.
gotta make a bunch of phone calls.
Yeah. So definitely we have to go down to Williamston on Tuesday. Williamston, by the way, is down by East Lansing. That's where our insurance company is. Mike is a great guy. He's always been decent with us. He's always helped us. Lee is a sweetheart. I love Lee. She's so nice. Um,
Don't give them candy.
well, we it's our insurance company, and that's who we go through, and we just got to get all this shit squared away, try to get back on our feet.
Could take a bit, but
But I've never lived in a fire ever. I've never experienced that.
take time,
Um,
I'll get it.
yeah. I've never had that kind of experience. You hear about things like this happening on the news all the time. And you know how your feeling is when you hear about other people's misfortunes when it comes to structure fires. You think, oh, it's terrible. It's sad when families are being displaced and now they're in a shelter. And there's organizations that offer to help. And then they have to turn to people for help. And now you have no choice but to start over. Well, luckily for us, we dodged a bullet. Although the shit shouldn't have ever fucking happened in the first place, but that's another story for another day. I'm glad that the house is still standing. I'm glad we all still have each other. We didn't lose anything other than, well, I can't say that. We lost a truck, a shed, and the camper.
Can be replaced. All can be
A lot of things can be replaced, but many more things can't. There were a lot of things that there were things that had sentimental value, and now those are gone forever. Never going to get them back. So that part we have to work through. We have to accept it, and I think we're doing an okay job doing that. But yeah, it's difficult. It's really difficult to accept. Um, yeah, 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 and it shouldn't have happened. That's the point. This fire shouldn't have never fucking happened in the first place. And we're gonna find out how it happened. We're gonna get to the bottom of it. And yeah, we have to. I mean, there's no other choice. We have no choice.
Problem is there's not going to be an investigation on it because there's nothing left.
They couldn't find out anyway.
The fire department said
Yeah,
that's what they were going to put in their report, Wayne, when we were there.
yeah. There was
There's
no way they could
nothing
tell how it
left.
started, Jared, because it went up so fast.
Yeah, I have a pretty good idea.
Well, he said that he has a good idea too,
Yeah,
Yeah.
but he can't.
You can't say it because you don't know.
right. And that's what I'm saying here.
And I mind
I don't-
we kind of know how it started.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure how it started and who's responsible. But without actually knowing the truth, I can't really say.
Something in the camper.
Yeah.
That where you know where it is.
All I know is it fucking sucks, and just have to move forward. Not much we can do.
We do have people out there that are willing to help.
Well,
me and Dad.
it is incredible. It is incredible to me how quickly news travels, because I so much as told one person.
Yeah.
And then
one
that
person
spreads
went
like
to
wildfire.
another person.
Yeah, it spreads like wildfire, literally, and figuratively. And the news has gone around Chesnang that there was a fire on the property. But the thing is, there's also the Saginaw County police scanner, that is a page on Facebook. And they said there was a fire at such and such address, or in the block of this road that I live on. And so
Traffic was bad.
the traffic was berserk because they were rubberneckers. They were people who come by just to take a peek, which I can't I can't be upset, because I do the same fucking thing. If I hear about a fire in the neighborhood, yeah, I go check it out. We not long ago, there was a guy with a gun. He was barricaded, and it's in this township, but Dad and I, we went and checked it out anyway. So I can't be upset people going by the road, up and down my road and checking things out. I can't be upset about it because I'm guilty of the same thing. But I will say I did have a lot. We all of us had a lot of friends who offered to help. If there's anything we can do, let us know. Um, it, yeah, our neighbors, and that was very, for me, very unheard of because our neighbors don't talk to us. We don't talk to them. We pretty much keep to ourselves. But the neighbors, I mean, the neighbors down the road here, they go up and down the road with their side by sides all the time. They patted me on the back that day and they said, if there's anything we can do for you, you please don't hesitate. But I didn't. I I don't even think Dad did, honestly. Um, it's just weird. And the news travels so fucking fast. And well, we thought it was your property. Oh yeah, we heard about that. And blah blah blah. And well, yeah, it's unfortunate for us. It is, but it isn't in the same sense because, like I said, we still have our house. We got each other. No one was killed. No one was hurt. But my main concern, not only the house, but the propane tank, which would have taken the house. And I was in the fucking house. And when the fire department showed up, they said they kept me out there at the out by the ditch. They said you have to stay off the property until we get the fire because it's a liability. If we get hurt while they're at work, it could fall back on them in some way. But I called them and sparks flew. I got really pissed, but I felt like I was having a nervous breakdown
You did.
because I couldn't keep it together.
You did, Jared. You had one at the truck when you come to me. I mean, you literally just frickin' went down, fucking bawling.
I was on the phone with my mom.
Collapsed.
I was on the phone with my mom, and I said, I'm going to lose every fucking thing I own because of a fucking fire that should not have happened. And I don't know. I every time I go outside, man, I smell that. It's the smell of burn, the smell of charred, and it's like that plays over in my mind. And even still, I was uptown in Chesaning last night after I dropped off my buddy Reese, and we walked up to the new chicken place. It's called Crispy Crunchy Chicken because my buddy Reese, his mom works there. And so we walked up there and an ambulance had come through town with the lights on and sirens blaring. And me being fucking traumatized by what happened, I called Dad and I made sure that everything here was okay. And I called home. I said, Dad, is everything okay at the house? And he says, yeah, why? I said, because I'm in Chesaning and an ambulance just blew through here with its lights on and sirens blaring. And he says, no, everything's fine. Everything's fine. Well, I'm fucking paranoid now because after that happened, that's all I think about. It's at the front of my mind. And I mean, there's just no way around it. And it plays over in my mind. Those flames were like 20 feet away from me. They were really close. And I could have died. And when I explain this to people, they look at it like, oh, you're just being over dramatic. No, I could have fucking died. Like literally could have fucking died. The propane tank is right there. If the fire would have reached that propane tank, this whole house would be gone. And I would have been in it.
You and your brother and the dogs.
Yeah, we would have all died. And the neighbor's house would have been gone over here, and the neighbor's house over here would have been gone. Although it's empty, it's not being occupied. This whole area in here would be leveled, and we would be dead. And the ambulance driver, the EMT, says, well, not all propane tanks will explode. Well, I'm not interested in finding out, motherfucker. I don't want to die today. I want to live to at least see 40, for Christ's sake. I'm going to be 40 in a few years. I want to make sure I get there.
That's why that tank is going to be moved once it's cleaned up. That tank can be moved out there. Away from the house.
And I was hysterical with Central Dispatch. Yeah, I know. I was hysterical with Central Dispatch. And I apologized profusely and told them I'm sorry that I got carried away and stressed out. And they said, no, sir. We hear this kind of stuff every time there's a fire. Every day we have to deal with that. They said, but you're pretty mild compared to most people. Well, I try to maintain composure, but it's fires are scary. They're nothing to fuck with. I mean, fires are really, really, really terrible. A buddy of mine lost everything he had in a fire, and had to start over from scratch. Nothing of his was saved. And I went to school with him. And you guys might know who I'm talking about. He lives right down at the end of our road, way down about 5 miles or so, maybe a little further. He passed the junkyard. You know who I'm talking about? Yeah. He lost every fucking thing he had, and he had to start over from scratch. And that's what I'm terrified of. Starting over from scratch. Over something that shouldn't have ever happened. But, it doesn't do any good now. What's done is done. But I have a pretty good idea, but I just can't say. But my skepticism is, my bullshit detectors are in full force, and I have an idea, but I can't say. Yeah. So Dad's getting ready to go to Owasso, to the hospital, because that's where my brother is, and he should be back. Well, I don't know if I'm going to take off. I was actually thinking about taking a drive out to Saginaw, out to Guitar Center. I just got to see how much money I have. I wanted to check out their DMX lighting. I wanted to look at some more lighting. All right, Dad. All right. Be safe. All right. What time is it? What time is it?
3:42.
Okay, we got about 15 minutes left. We're a little over 15 minutes. So everybody say bye to Dad. Although no one's commenting, the chat logs are open. I guess I should have said that at the top of the video. And I usually go watch Matt Dillahunty and Jimmy Snow over on the line. But the thing is they started their live streams at the exact same time as I started mine. So I can't watch them while doing my own show simultaneously. So hopefully by the time this is done, I might be able to catch the tail end of their live stream. Because I enjoy watching the line, and there's a chat mod over there at the line. She goes by I Got Cookies, and we always talk, and she asked me how family's doing, and I'm always happy to talk with her and have conversations with her. Although I have no idea who she is, she's just a chat mod. But she's really nice, really sweet.
A lot of the mods are in
Yeah.
the groups.
Yeah. Yeah. So when I go, I watch the line. I listen to Matt Dillahunty because he is a well-known atheist, and I listen to the people because it's a call-in show, is what it is, and I listen to the people talk. They give their explanations on why they believe in what they believe in, and why, and it's the why that counts. And then they have sometimes the calls go smoothly, and most of the time they get on the phone and they start calling him a bunch of names. They'll insult Matt, and Matt will say, "Okay, you're fucking done. Bye." And I think that's where he and I would get along great because I have no problem cutting people off. But it's one of those other programs I just like to watch, and I like to listen and observe and get some ideas on some things, maybe rethink some things that I haven't considered. And you know, it's interesting to watch. And I'm pretty sure my buddy Dan Richards is having his Sunday flashback show on 103.9 The Fox tonight. So I don't have a problem ever promoting my buddy Dan's show on the radio. You can listen online too. You can listen to the live stream. And it's not going to do any good putting up a link because the chat log won't be there when this live stream ends. At least I don't think. But For the rest of the day, yeah, I might go to Saginaw here in a little bit. Go to Guitar Center and check out some DMX lighting and to do some pricing on some lights because I want to build my light setup. You know, I got 10 DMX lights. I have 4 Stinger spots, which are spotlights. I have 4 wash lights that I ordered those off Walmart. And I have 2 spider lights. And those spider lights, you know, they kick out some light. I mean, they're pretty decent. But I want to get at least a couple more of the stinger spots because I want at least 6 of those. And I have my 4 wash lights and then my 2 spider lights. So I have 12 DMX lights. Um, who knows? I might even add more than that, depending on how big I want to go because we have a sound system here. And Dad and I have been talking about going into the DJing business and getting a little something going and see what we can do. I've been stockpiling on my music collection. I have a USB flash drive. It's 256 gigs, and I've got close to 5,300 songs on the flash drive and counting. I'm getting so close to that mark. I gotta pee. I gotta pee, but I can't. I gotta wait out until show's over. But
It's 3:46.
yeah, I got about another 10 minutes. I don't know if I can wait that long. Ugh. I'll be okay. Um, but yeah, there's close to 5,300 songs on the flash drive. I've been downloading so many songs and so, you know, I listen to the radio, like the R&B stations. If I don't have that song, I can download that, add that to my collection. And yeah, so there's close to 5,300 songs. I've been doing a lot of work trying to get that built up, and I went to the show last night, the SCW show, and one song I added was "Feed My Frankenstein" by Alice Cooper, and I added "Crazy Train" by Ozzy, and there's a lot of music I have yet to add, and I'm just missing a whole bunch of it. But I'm gonna add it. There will be more. I think I have to add some Taylor Swift because I know there's a lot of Taylor Swift fans out there. Someone suggested a group called Imagine Dragons, which I've heard of them, but I don't know of any of their music. Um, there's just so many of them. I was listening to 102.5 WIOG last week in the morning with Nate and April, which, by the way, I know Nate and April. Um, I've met them numerous times and they're awesome people. But anyway, they played a song called Players. I don't know the name of the person who sang the song, but they used the music from The Message. It's a song called The Message by Grandmaster Flash. It was early 80s for you. A lot of you might remember that. Um, but the music in the background from the song called The Message was used in a song called Girls as Players Too. And I'm listening to that like, what in the holy fuck? What is that? Because I was going to call WIOG and ask them, since when did you start playing Grandmaster Flash? You know, this is like 1982 Grandmaster Flash, but it wasn't Grandmaster Flash, obviously. It was a song called Players. It's like, how can you take a rap song? How do you ruin it like that? I mean, everybody knows that the music in that song come from the original song called The Message. It's like, um, I'm trying to think, was it Ice Ice Baby? I think it was.
Yeah.
That was a remake of Under Pressure by Queen and Freddie Mercury. Um, yeah, they redo a lot of those songs. They'll take the music from the older songs and remake them into newer songs, and it's really weird. I don't know how they get away with that. I guess they have to sign a contract with record companies or producers or whatever. I don't know how the fuck they do it. Seems like they get in trouble because it's copyrighted material and seems like there'd be some kind of a plagiarism thing going on, but I think plagiarism only works if you copy or duplicate someone else's work without their permission, then you have plagiarism. It's like if I write a poem and someone else is taking credit for it or writing a poem similar to mine or something like that, maybe to that effect. Or if they're using the same, I think it only works if they're using the same words that I used, then it's plagiarism. And then they want to take credit for my work. Um, it happens all the time. Uh, Now, I have friends who are in the acting industry, and, filming, and they are musicians and people who are in the entertainment business in general. And you get those people who they're on the side, like myself. Only, unlike myself, these people try to take credit for the successes of other people. That's not me. I don't take credit for anybody else's success. I take credit for the things that I do, and it may not be publicly that I do this, but rest assured, nonetheless, I am taking credit for what I do. Um, I know what I've done. I know where I've been. I know the people know me. I know those people. Um, and there's never any misunderstanding as far as I can tell, only for people who really and truly don't know me and they might get a false impression of me, which that happens too, and that has happened. But um, I don't I don't cause a rift. I don't steal people's ideas, but I am inspired by other people's ideas enough to come up with something for myself. And I've noticed, and Dad was telling me this too, Amy, that there's like an insurgence of teddy bears now being associated with childhood cancer. Now, I personally am not going to take credit for that because I have been Jer Bear. That's my nickname. I have been Jer Bear for almost 35 years now. The insurgence of the teddy bears being associated with childhood cancer, I can't take credit for it because it may not have been because of me. I don't consider myself a trendsetter, but um, I just find it really,
Yeah, because I've got a teddy bear in there,
yeah,
and on the bottom of its foot,
yeah,
it says right on there, proceeds go to cancer.
yeah. So I don't want to take credit for it because again, I can't. But I've been Jer Bear. That's been my nickname for 35 years. Um, maybe it's just I don't know, maybe it's always been synonymous with childhood cancer. I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know. I would have to look that up. Matter of fact, I might have time. Let's see, because
353.
let's see. I'm gonna check out Google here. When did teddy bears become a part of childhood cancer? Um, Teddy Bear Cancer Foundation was inspired by a 3-year-old boy with Ewing sarcoma. Okay. Yeah, but how old is the foundation? Nikki Katz, founder. After this conversation, I realized a great need for a support system for families with children suffering from cancer in Central Coast in 2002 with the determination to assist families through the battle of cancer. Teddy Bear. Okay, so it was in 2002. Well, I was already Jer Bear in 2002. But and again, that's not from me. That's from a young boy who had Ewing sarcoma. I didn't have Ewing's. I had Wilms. So again, I'm not taking credit for anything, but it's weird how the insurgence of teddy bears had taken off in the childhood cancer world that I've noticed anyway from a distance. No, I'm not taking credit for anything. But I notice things. I find things out surreptitiously. Uh, I don't know. Maybe it's just like radio flyer wagons, right? I had a radio flyer wagon after my cancer diagnosis, although I think Dad might have purchased it during, but I don't know. But my radio flyer wagon wasn't plastic; it had the wooden racks on the sides, so it's a pretty old wagon, and I still have it, by the way. But usually Dad would have the last usually I turn the floor over to Dad so he can have some last words. Amy, you'll get some last words before I go, but we're not quite there yet. Let's see here. It is, well, we got about 5 minutes. Oh yeah, we got 5 minutes. So yeah, I'll let you take it away anyway. Was there anything you wanted to say before we go?
Just peace out, be safe, be careful out there for Memorial Weekend.
Yeah. That's next week. Um, I don't know if I'm going to be back for Memorial Day for the Sunday video update. Memorial Day, I might take the week off next week. Rest assured, you guys will know. You'll find out. But I'm doing okay. Dad's doing okay. Mom, as far as I know, she's doing okay. She was doing pretty good. When I was up there visiting with her on Mother's Day, and
I forgot to say I'm doing better than what I was.
yeah, and Amy's doing better. I actually went on a date. It wasn't last week, was it? Or the week before, I think it was. So I went on a date with this girl, and it was different. And I say that because she considers herself an empath. Or so she says it anyway. She considers herself an empath. And um it's weird. It's really weird. She was We were sitting there eating food because I had purchased a meal for us. And she okay, so it's not an empath. That's not the word. She used the word empath incorrectly. Um, but I'll tell you. So it's not empath. It's not empath. She used the word incorrectly. Uh, she claimed she claims that she can talk to her grandmother, great grandmother who passed away some years ago, and she was sitting there as if she was talking to her dead grandmother, saying, "Oh, please stop poking me, don't touch me." And I'm sitting there, kind of looking at her off, like giving her the side eye, like this girl's fucking nuts. Uh, and it's no cheap shot to people who are actually mentally ill and deal with that kind of thing, because I don't want to, I don't have a prejudice against people who have mental health issues, because mental health is a big deal. But this idea that, okay, I'm an atheist, which isn't has nothing to do with mental health. It's just my lack of belief in a God. But she's sitting there and she's, stop, she's sitting right here next to me and she's touching me, and I'm just sitting there like, okay. And she's a nice girl, and I don't want to, I'm not trying to be mean. I'm not trying to be a dick. I don't want to beat up on her, but um I don't know if that's gonna work. I don't know if that relationship would work, because I don't believe that she was talking to anybody. She claims that her dead grandmother was there, and it's like, wow, okay. I don't think this is gonna work. Um, but like I said, I'm not trying to beat up on her personality. I guess I should have said I'm not a womanizer, by the way, but I don't.
They admit not to get mixed up with anyone like us that have the mental.
They admit it, or they
The
suggest.
staff
Yeah,
will come right out and tell you it's not good
yeah.
to have a relationship.
Okay, so they suggest it.
Yeah,
They suggest not to get mixed up. Um,
out of there because of that.
and I try to be, charitable with my time, and I tried to be as nice as I could be. And it's like, okay, maybe I try to overlook it, because it's like, okay, she's got some mental health issues through no fault of her own. She's been through some bullshit. So I'm trying to be as charitable and as understanding as possible, but at the same time, it's like, you're not talking to anybody except for myself. You're talking to me. The only person sitting with you is me. Um, and she's like, "Oh, I'm talking to my grandmother. She's sitting right here, by the way." No, she's fucking not. And I don't know. Goodbye. um, it's like this is not going to work. Um, But in any event, yeah, I mean, she's a nice girl, and I don't want to take that away from her because she is a nice girl. I mean, she is nice, but um, I think with me being an atheist, it's difficult to connect with people who believe in the supernatural
Yeah,
and they think
it
that
is.
there's spirits or apparitions
Yeah.
sitting next to them, which is I find that to be odd.
That would be just like you being with the other friend of mine
Yeah.
who is Wiccan.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just it's weird. Um People think atheism's weird, but really atheism isn't a religion, it's just a lack of a belief in a god. That's it. But anyway, we have reached the 1 hour mark. My name is Jared Fuller, aka the Jerry Bear. Yeah, I went over a little bit. Um, I might be back next week. I don't know. I'll have an announcement on the community tab on this channel. I hope you all have a wonderful week. We got stuff to do this week. I'm gonna head to Saginaw here in a little bit, go to Guitar Center, but I gotta go pee first because I've been holding this for a little while. So I gotta get going. I love you all very much. I hope you have a wonderful week. We are doing okay. I'm doing okay for those of you who are wondering. Um, Contact me, email me, text me, do whatever you have to do to get in contact. I'm still here, I'm still around. I'm just not on Facebook. So I love you all very much, and I will be seeing you soon. Take care. Have a great week. Peace. Adios. Ciao.